microphone. Again, let me just finish my little speech. That we're almost at the beginning of the year, and this is the time we wanted to bring you guys together face to face to see each other and to get to know each other a little bit before our full orientation starts. Some of you guys know each other. You probably feel very well by now after the end of a week of our summer boot camp, which has been pretty intense, but good, I hope. And still intense. We've got a couple weeks to go. And also, this is an opportunity for us to provide you with a little bit more information about where you should be right now, what you should know for the beginning before orientation starts, and to give you guys a little taste of what you're in for when the year begins in October. You might notice there's a big camera, there's microphones. There's about half of the program that's not here, or less, a little bit. Because they're abroad, and this is an opportunity for them to still get a sense of orientation and to hear everything you guys will hear today, and also to see you guys. So there's going to be microphones. Sometimes we'll repeat questions that are asked, just so the people who might be watching this will be able to hear them. Okay? Okay. So how we'd like to start just quickly is, it's going to take a little bit, but if everybody can go around the room and just introduce themselves, say their name, where they're from, okay, what their professional background has been, and also if you can think of something that you could tell the room that might surprise everybody. For example, it might surprise you to know that I'm a national champion. So, of field hockey. Yeah. I'm a national champion of field hockey in the United States. I played in the university. So that's something that you might never have known if I didn't tell you, and it gives you a little insight into who I am. So if you guys can think of something else you'd like to share with the room that might surprise the rest of the group about you. Okay? Tracy, why don't we start, since you just got here? And also make sure you grab a drink and... Okay. Hi, I'm Tracy Goldstein. Oh, stand up and also speak a little loudly so the folks watching. Do I have to look at the camera? No, you don't have to look at the camera. Hi, I'm Tracy Goldstein. So actually pass the mic around.
You guys know my name, but that's it. Can I start? Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Tracy Goldstein. I'm originally from New York, but now I'm Israeli. I made Aliyah, so I'm a fresh meat. I'm about a month here. In New York, I was a property manager of a building in Manhattan, and I also started an event planning business in Manhattan, too. I was a wedding planner, but I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm hoping that while I'm here for the year that I can start a new business in Israel, and I have a bunch of plans for that. That's
do you think that the group might be surprised?
I don't know. I was a dancer, I guess.
Hello, I'm Ben Rudin. I'm from Scarsdale, New York. I've been working in commercial real estate in New York City interning there mostly. And this past year, I was actually in Israel playing professional basketball, and now I'm back for an MBA here. I thought that was a little surprising. I don't really, have the height.
Okay, that's cool.
Hi everyone, my name is Olga Rubanovskaya. I'm originally from Moscow and I lived in London afterwards, and now I'm a new Israeli citizen. Made Aliyah in November 2009. My background is in marketing. I used to work for Procter & Gamble, and afterwards I was a brand manager on the Heineken beer brand in the UK. And now I'm here and I'm looking to start my own business. Well, actually I've already started my own business, but I'm looking to use my knowledge I acquired in my MBA to develop it better. And things you might be surprised to know about me is that when I was 20, I decided that I wanted to go and work for the UN. And I got a position with the UN in Moscow where I was in charge of going to prisons and talking to drug addicts and understanding how I can use the resources of the World Health Organization, UNDP, and UNODC to help them. It was a very exciting time, but afterwards I switched into marketing.
Hi, I'm Shlomi. I am originally from Miami. I made Aliyah 2 years ago. lost my footing. Something interesting about me is I actually used to run track and cross country, and I held the record for the mile when I was in like high school. But since then, I haven't been to a gym, so that's like I can't run anymore. So it's very surprising.
Hi, my name is Talia Schmidt, and I am Israeli, originally from Jerusalem, but I've been living in Tel Aviv for a couple of years. Spent some time in the States, going back and forth from New York to Oklahoma, and might surprise you to know that I love baking and am currently working on my book. So that's it. Yeah, it's not like it's not getting published soon.
Right. Good morning. My name is Or Tamir. I'm from Israel. I have a background in investments in high tech, venture capital, private equity. For the last year or so, I've been running the business development and marketing operations in an internet startup. And it might surprise you to know that I'm getting married at the end of the month.
Hi everybody, I'm Tomer Lapid. I'm Israeli. I live in Tel Aviv. I spent some of my childhood in New York, therefore my accent. I'm in computer science graduate, and I currently work for the Intelligence Corps as a consultant in professional services. That's where I actually grew up in the Army, started off my career. And you would be surprised to know that I'm a yacht skipper. I've got a skipper's license.
Hi, my name is Arik Preisman. I'm also, well, nothing interesting, Israeli. I live in Tel Aviv. Israelis stick together. We have each other's back. So I worked in high tech, in sales, and then I decided that it's too easy, so I started selling Israel. So now I work in Israel advocacy, which basically means that I talk to Americans about Israel. And something surprising about me, I participated in the Israeli version of The Apprentice. Yeah. And? What? No, I didn't win. Almost.
Hi everyone, my name is Israel Salovich. My name is Israel Salovich. I'm originally from Mexico City. I studied chemical engineering also in Mexico City. I noticed that there's not a lot of money in the chemical business, so I want to do that's why I want to do an MBA. One thing you maybe don't know about me is I was the fourth place at a national chess contest in Mexico, and that's about it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Simon Benninga. I'm not a student in this program. I don't know. I live in Jerusalem. I teach at Tel Aviv University. Something surprising about me, I'm a graduate of a commercial ice cream making course at Pennsylvania State University.
So hi, I'm Alex Dweck from Geneva, Switzerland. I lived 8 years in the United States. I went to school at Brandeis University. Also, I worked in commercial real estate for 3.5 years. Had a little startup, also in commercial real estate. Just moved here 2 months ago, but I'm not doing Aliyah. I'm just going to be, I guess, a long-term tourist. You never know. Something interesting. I'm colorblind. What? Colorblind.
Is that why you're wearing a red shirt?
Hi, I'm Yana. I'm originally from Russia, but I grew up in Atlanta. I live in Israel for 3 years already, and before my MBA, I worked in production, in film and television production here. And something that is surprising, I can't really think of something really great, but I really like the outdoors, and I recently got into scuba diving. So far that's it.
Hi, I'm Ilana. I'm from Westchester, New York. I went to Binghamton University in upstate New York, and I've been in Israel for a little over 5 years now in 2 different jobs. First I was doing retail marketing and then online marketing for a gambling company. Definitely don't want to be in gambling anymore. And a few random things about myself. I love Boggle, which maybe only the Americans would know, and yeah, and ping pong, and I made Aliyah because Orange wouldn't give me the phone plan I wanted.
Hi, my name is Terry. I'm from Taiwan 6 months ago, and my background is computer science. So if you have any question about computer, maybe you can ask me. But don't ask me to help you to fix your computer, okay? And yes, maybe you can ask Tomer. Yeah, Tomer is also very good. Yeah. Yeah, no. And I have a son, a very Hamud son. And he is only 1 year and 4 months. And my wife is going to give a birth in a month. So she is pregnant, so we will have another baby in a month. Yes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Graber. I'm from New York City, and I have a background in retail buying. And I came to Israel to do this MBA to eventually start my own retail venture, hopefully in Israel. And one interesting thing about me is that I secretly harbor fantasies of becoming a farmer.
Hello, good morning. I've only been awake for a short while. I finished working at 5 o'clock in the morning, so please excuse me. My name is Shiri. I'm usually not this hoarse. Like an hour I'll probably have my real voice. I am from the United States, originally from Florida. I went to the University of Central Florida. My background's in PR, but I've been working in event management for the past few years. I made Aliyah 3 years ago, and that's it. Oh, something interesting? Well, obviously I work at a bar, so I guess when we all get really comfortable with each other, we can all go out together, and I'm sure it'll be a good
time. My name is Jeremy. I'm from France, but I've also been living in the United States. I made Aliyah. I moved here like 3 years ago. I studied law, and I was working also in business development in high-tech in Israel. And I finished the army something like 2 months ago. And something surprising about me, for the people that have been in class with me, I guess that sometime I can be on time. So that's the surprising thing. And I hope you'll notice.
My name is Mikhail. I'm from South Africa. My background is in hospitality. So I studied hospitality, and then I thought I wanted to come to Israel. So I spent time in Israel for 3 years. And then I went back to South Africa. So now I'm back. So now this is my Aliyah bet for me. And something maybe unique. I think the whole Israel thing started when I spent 5 years through my high school and first year degree in my youth movement. So that's kind of where my Zionism comes from. It was Habonim.
Hi, good morning. My name is Nathan Rickman, originally from London. My background is corporate finance, company valuations. I moved to Israel 3 years ago. I'm married. It's my daughter's second birthday next Tuesday. Ice cream party, everyone's invited. And interesting thing about myself, I like gardening. Big fan of gardening.
Good morning. My name is Liran Robbins. I was born here in Israel, grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, Newton, Massachusetts, but most people don't know where that is. Some people here know where that is. That's good. It's a good start. I studied biomedical engineering. I'm doing my graduate degree, my master's thesis with the dean of the program, Professor Miki Sheinwich. I started that a few months ago. I'm a project manager at McKesson Corporation, which is a Fortune 16 healthcare company, where I work with head of hospital sites here in Israel and around the world. So I've been to South Africa, to Portugal, to France, to England, pretty much all over, except for the United States. When I arrived, they said, okay, you're American, so we don't want you going to the United States, and so I went everywhere else. So it's a good experience. And something interesting about me is I'm a diehard basketball fan. I used to like Michael Jordan, so all my passwords have 23 in them. So if you want to try to hack in, you can try.
Hi, I'm Josh Gray. I'm originally from Massachusetts, Longmeadow, Mass., but I'm a Yankees fan. I do not like the Red Sox. So. I've been practicing law for the past 9 years, most recently in a health insurance company, and have dealt with McKesson in contract negotiations, and have lived, though, in Boston, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, but most recently Western Massachusetts. As far as something interesting about myself, I took a bonsai course a few years back where I made my own bonsai tree, and it's actually still alive. And right now, and as of a couple weeks ago, my parents had yet to kill it. But I've been in Israel now for 3 weeks.
Hi, my name is Masha Schuler. I'm from Russia, but I also made Aliyah and live in Israel. My background is non-profit, project management and grant making. And something surprising, I'm helping the NGO which deals with post-trauma for victims of terror attacks and wars with fundraising from the Russian sector.
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm originally from Chicago. I moved here from New York. I was a nurse practitioner in New York, which they don't have in Israel, but it's basically if you wanted to go see your doctor, you could come to me instead and I can fix you, hopefully. So what else do I do? Oh, something interesting about me. I brought my big hound lab mixed dog with me, Dylan, because I couldn't leave her behind, and all the Israelis call her Dylena because they can't understand why I would name a girl dog Dylan. So.
Hello, I'm Lara from Bethlehem, West Bank. I have studied business and minor in marketing. I have been working for Mercedes-Benz for the past 2 years. What else? Something interesting. I like traveling around the world and getting to know different cultures.
Can you get a discount?
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Peled. I grew up in New York and lived in Atlanta for about 5.5 years before moving to Israel 3.5 years ago with my dog, Miles. I work in education management. I was managing a branch of Wall Street Institute where we had about 1,300 students studying English. Something interesting, a few of you took some of my interesting things. I also have a license to be a skipper. I am also certified as a master scuba diver. And I used to lead summer study abroad tours through Europe.
Hi, everybody. We haven't met yet. I'm Sarah. I'm the professional development advisor for the program, so we will probably meet during the year, and I will know you pretty well. We will. I was born and raised in Israel. My mom is Canadian, so we spoke English at home. And an interesting fact about me is that I grew up on a farm, and I have a tractor driver's license. So...
Hi, everyone. I think I've met most of you at this point. My name's Rebecca. I'm the class coordinator for the program, so you'll get lots and lots and lots of emails from me throughout the year. I'm originally from Toronto, but I made Aliyah from Montreal. And my background is in nonprofit. Oh, and something interesting, I was the captain of my high school soccer team. You all know me, Erin, originally from Canada, moved to... See, I'm the worst. This is I'm originally from Canada, Winnipeg. Has anyone heard of Winnipeg? I moved to Chicago when I was 13. I was there for high school. Then I went to Michigan, University of Michigan, and then I moved to Toronto after I graduated and worked in television production also. And then I came to Israel sort of on a whim 5 years ago and never left. So that's what brought me here. Okay. Oh, and I told you something interesting already. Okay, so what we're going to do now, does everybody have 3 paper clips? Who does not? Simon? Okay, what we're going to do, you just pass them around to who does not have? Okay, what we're going to do is just a quick little ice-breaking game to get you guys just to mingle a little bit more. Everybody has 3 paper clips in their hand. The goal of the game is to end with no paper clips in your hand. And how you do that is you walk around and you meet people and you start talking and you find something where through your conversation you realize they have a need or they have an idea or they have a question that you can help them with. If you can help them either with a connection, an idea, a piece of advice, you give them a paper clip. Okay? You have about 15 minutes. The goal of the end of the day of the session is to have no paper clips in your hand. Are there any questions? Is that clear? Yeah, if you can help, you give a paper clip. And the idea is that you want to not have any paper clips in the hand. So if you talk to somebody, you try and find out where you can help them with something. Whether it's, I just moved in and I really need a TV and I don't want to buy a new TV, and you say, oh, my friend has a TV, I can give you their number, okay? Or I don't know where to go for, this is all for new people I'm thinking, or sheets on my bed, and you can say, well, don't go to this place, go to this place is awesome, okay? So that's the idea. Cool? All right, up. Okay, you can come and use this space in the middle. I have a bomb. I don't need it, right? That's so fun.
No, that's why I have to give you the thing.
Oh,
yeah. Did you see the girl?
So I called him up the first one. The first one I sent a text. I didn't hear anything back from him. I didn't know. There's a chance I could have messed the number wrong. I don't know. And the second one was supposed to meet up, but I think they were going to a club. And I wasn't like.
Oh man, my friend arrived at 3 o'clock. I went to a club like crazy called Radio. I got so banged up. And
did you hear my voice, man?
And what did you do eventually?
I just want to go out like
I would have told you. You should have told me. I would have tell you which place you should go out.
What'd you do?
Do you need the ride home?
Oh. But you better do it now.
You need the ride home.
I just got stuck.
closely in touch around this program.
Hi, I'm Simon. Nice to meet you. Hi. Would you like a paperclip?
Sure, add to the collection.
It's a good game. I thought you were going to say.
Okay, so who has no paper clips in their hands? One more. Who has, how many people have one paper clip? Okay, how many people have two? How many people have three? Three? Okay, how many people have more than when they started? Okay. What's your theory?
My theory is actually you want the most paper clips at the end because it shows your strength that you know your shortcomings. So actually, it's not good to have no paper clips.
The winner. So this game is to symbolize what networking is all about. Networking is about giving value and receiving value. And the idea is that the more value you give, no one, you know, if we kept going, and Masha, where's Masha, who had none early on? Where's Masha? Where are you? There you go. So the idea is that if you kept going, you would probably end up with pretty much the same amount of paper clips as you started with. And the idea is that the more that you give, the more likely you are to receive in return. So how many people?
I received one more. Sorry. But I already gave it back.
Right. And at different points in one's life, you need more than you might be able to give. And at different points in your life, you can give more than you can receive. And the idea is to understand that sharing is what networking is all about providing value, because the more you provide, the more people would like to provide you value in return. And that's a concept that we're going to work on throughout the year, because one of our fundamental principles about moving forward in this world is networking and how to do that in the best way possible. Okay? Cool. So now we're going to move on, and Simon's going to present.
So, yes? Is that okay? Okay, so, I have a short presentation about the curriculum. Feel free to interrupt or ask questions. I'm also going to feel free not to answer all of the questions, okay? Well, I'll start with the people who are here in alphabetical order. We're going to post this somewhere, probably, but you probably already know all of this with the emails. The one person you may not have met is the last person on this list, Sharon Shaked, and I'll tell you in a little while what she does and how she fits in. So the schedule for the year, right now we're having our boot camp. In the week before classes start, we're going to have a 4-day orientation, which is going to be content-less in the sense that there's no formal educational content. It's more to get everybody framed in the right way. We're going to end the week with a 2-day trip, an overnight basically, and we're going to start the week, for those of you who are watching this on video, we've asked some of you to do a quiz in some of the materials covered in the boot camp, and that's on October the 10th. Now, the educational part of the year. We have divided the year into 5 modules. Roughly, each module is 6 weeks. And roughly, each module is followed by a 2-week period. The first week is what we call a reading and a review week, and the second week is an exam week. We're not going to stick strictly to this schedule because, as I'll show you in just a second, we have a fair number of complications in the schedule. But the way to think about the year is this 5 modules. Between the 4th and the 5th module, we're going to China. I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay. Classes and course units. The basic class unit at Tel Aviv University is what we call a course unit. It's 2.5 class contact hours per week per module. So most of our introductory courses are 2 course units. So for example, the accounting course is in the first module. It's 2 course units. It will meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? You'll have 5 hours of accounting for 6 weeks, so that's 30 hours, contact hours with the fabulous lecturer for that, Itai Kama. In the first semester, we also have a leadership course. It's 1 course unit. It's 2.5 hours per week for 6 weeks. What you need to graduate from this program is 28 course units. About half of these are compulsory. They're required courses. So here are required courses: micro, statistics, accounting, organizational behavior, marketing, finance, ethics, management, information systems, and strategy. As you see, almost all of those courses are 2 course units, except for the ethics course and the management information course. Then we have a fairly large selection of electives. I think I've listed most of the electives here, but I'm not totally sure. Well, you can see them. Leadership, we have a course in biomed entrepreneurship taught by a professor from Wharton. Advanced corporate finance, real estate finance, financial engineering, which I'm teaching, hedge fund management. This is sort of, I hope this person will be able to come. He had some personal things happen to him this year. He teaches at Yale and at NYU, Leon Metzger, and we call it hedge fund management, but it's really kind of a capstone course which talks about a variety of ethical and financial issues all together. Leon's syllabus for this course is a 60-page offering memorandum, and you have to sign. Your whole assignment for the first class is you have to read it and sign it. And then he asks you what you've actually read. We have a what? We have a course in HR management. We have a course in nonprofit management. We have an investments course, venture capital, business game. That turned out to be one of the most intense experiences of the year. In our first year, this is the business game is a course where you work in groups and you compete against each other, and you compete also against students from our regular MBA program. The Hebrew MBA program. And it turned out that a lot of personal dynamics got involved in this. People can cheat on each other, and groups have to negotiate with each other. There were, what? You can get sued, yes. What?
Romantic issues.
Okay. Entrepreneurship course, we have a marketing strategy course, and we have a negotiation course. Almost the whole program is in place. I'll give you some details in just a second. We are part of a much bigger venture. We are part of the Faculty of Management, which is the business school at Tel Aviv University. This building has about 2,000 students in it. Half of them are graduate students in our Hebrew language MBA program. The Hebrew language MBA program itself has courses in English. We will notify you of those courses. You can take those courses. For those of you who are Hebrew competent, you can also take Hebrew language courses after you get our permission. Okay. So courses outside the program, first of all, you need my permission. So what's going to happen here is Rebecca is your main contact person. You will ask Rebecca. You will ask me. Our doors are pretty much open. We will also let you take a limited number of courses outside of this building, outside of the Faculty of Management. So I've given some examples here. I'll talk about Hebrew in just a second. But those courses you need, again, you need our permission for. We're going to offer Hebrew for credit. Last year we did an experiment. We offered a basic and an intermediate course in Hebrew not for credit. We've changed the system this year. We will offer an introductory Hebrew course which will run through the first 4 modules of this program. So that's basically the fall and the spring. We will give you credit for this. We will not allow you to take the course if you don't take it for credit, meaning if you're going to take it, you're going to have to take the exam at the end of each semester. It will, that's what I mean when I say no audits. It will not count towards your degree. It will not count in your average. So it's sort of a hybrid type of thing. You want to add something, Rebecca?
Just that if you're planning on staying in Israel, it's extremely important for you to invest in your Hebrew language skills.
And the teacher is very good.
And Amnon's.
Yes. Okay. Waivers. What do I mean by a waiver? Some of you have had some of the materials that we cover in our courses. Our basic attitude is that even if you've had a course, you should take it again. Okay? So if worst comes to worst and you've had accounting and you sit in the accounting course, you can help all the poor, unfortunate souls who don't know the difference between the left and the right-hand side of the balance sheet. Okay? Now, there are some cases, you know, take Israel, for example, who is a CPA. So I guess you probably don't need an introductory accounting course. So we will give you a waiver. Okay. When you have to apply for it. Okay. What that means is, Israel, that you don't have to take the accounting course, but we won't give you credit for it either. So that means that if you have to take 28 course units, you'll have to dig up 2 more course units from some other place. Okay? We are going to be very stingy with the waivers. Our basic policy is no more than 2 waivers per student and no more than 1 waiver per module. It's a small program, this program. We try to deal individually with everybody. So if there are special issues or special cases, we will deal with them. Now, in terms of waivers, our basic policy is not just to not give many waivers, but also the waivers depend on how long ago it was that you took the course for which you're requesting the waivers. And here I've indicated that you must have taken an equivalent course in the last 5 to 8 years. And obviously you should have it with a good grade, and I get to make the final decision. Okay, now in terms of the modules, this is our academic program as it stands right now. Most of it is firmly in place. The stars on these courses indicate that they're required courses. So the first semester, and these are the professors, the first semester is accounting, microeconomics, and statistics. And if you want, you can take a leadership course. I should say something about this first semester. Our experience last year was that it was a tremendous amount of work. People said, oh, first module, oh, I'm only taking 3 or 4 courses, you know, I can take Hebrew, and I can do this, and I can do that. And in the end, people were totally swamped because we've asked all of our professors not to go lightly either on homework or readings or assignments. It's a lot of work outside of the classroom. The second module, finance and marketing, required courses, organizational behavior, a required course, ethics, a required course. You notice I skipped one of these people. We have 2 people here from Wharton in this particular semester. Ronel Alul is a visiting professor here who has a position at the Federal Reserve Bank in Philadelphia and at Wharton. He's going to be here. This is a totally regular course, which means it meets 5 hours a week for 6 weeks. Stephen Samet is also a professor at Wharton, but he comes in only for, we're still negotiating with him, 3 to 4 weeks. So that means that in that 3 to 4 week period that he's running this course on healthcare innovation and entrepreneurship, that the course will be the schedule is going to go bananas. Okay? That's our preference. We'd rather bring in somebody good and make you suffer than not bring him in. And people really like this course. Like, what?
And us suffer also.
Everybody suffers, except that Steve is an amazingly wonderful, nice person, and you'll like him. The third module, we have strategy, information systems. Those are the required courses. So from the third module onward, you're more or less doing only electives. Investments, a business game, which actually runs over 2 modules, high-tech M&A. Nir Briller teaches at Tel Aviv and at INSEAD, real estate finance, and because the lighting here is not right, you can't see that I highlighted this NGO management course. Roy Sparrow is a retired professor at NYU, and we're still actually negotiating with him the time slots for next year. So I'm not totally sure about this course. And then financial management, we're going to run a China course. I'll tell you about that in just a second. High-tech marketing, HR management, venture capital, and negotiations. And in the summer, we're going to offer financial engineering, entrepreneurship, Leon's course, marketing strategy, and value creation. So that's pretty much the year. You have any questions about this? I'm not through. Okay. We learned some stuff this year. One of the things we learned is people totally overloaded on courses, and that cost a lot of distress both for them and for us. So we're going to be much firmer this year with saying to you, don't take so many courses, spread it out. We are also going to ask you to take 4 course units in the summer, unless you have some totally pressing reason to do otherwise. So we want you to spread this. The usual MBA program in the States is a 2-year program. We're modeled on INSEAD, which is a 1-year program, okay? But we want you to take the year to finish this program.
Just a quick note on that. A lot of the courses are very group work oriented. So including the class time that you're expected, the time you're supposed to give to be in the class, you are expected by your peers to show up to group meetings, to be an active member in your group work, and that stuff takes a lot of time. So you might only say, I have 3 courses, but like Simon said earlier, there's a lot of time you have to give to your courses outside of the classroom, and your peers expect that of you.
And we're going to try to keep the courses in a 4-day time frame. I don't know if we will succeed.
The business game is already on Sunday.
The business game is already on Sunday. Okay, after the 4th module, we're going to take a trip to China. The person who's leading this trip is a professor from Pennsylvania State University, his name is Dennis Simon. He was absolutely amazing this year. Dennis has spent his whole career, as you can see from the picture, he's not a youngster. He spent his whole career sort of between consulting and academia. He's been dean and provost in several universities in the United States, and he also spent 10 years in China running Monitor and Accenture. He speaks and reads Chinese. He would sit on the bus and text in Chinese on his cell phone. He was amazing. We learned a lot. So the way this works is we pay for all of the internal costs for approximately 1 week in China. I think this year was 8 days. Okay? So we will pay for the hotels, for virtually all of the meals, the buses, blah, blah.
Just a quick note on that that's not part of your tuition. That's a separate grant that we have to pay for that. So if you're not going, it's not that we'll give you money back on your tuition for not going. Okay? There's a little confusion about that.
Okay. You pay to get yourself to Beijing and back. And then what we're going to do before the course is before the China trip, is we're going to run a 1-credit unit China course in which we basically expect that if you're going on the China trip, you'll be part of the course. And we will try to set the frame and try to make sure that you're not totally ignorant about China before you go on the course. The reason I haven't noted the teacher, this year Rebecca and I taught this course. We're, of course, old China hands. Neither one of us had been there before we started. We've been talking to Dennis about him coming over before the course and teaching that in some kind of a concentrated module. We haven't quite figured this out yet, so it's not quite clear who's going to run that course. Let's see. Then we have another option for you. This building, that's Laura Boyanovsky, who's going to speak at the graduation. We should have put the graduation in here. I'll talk about this in just a second. So we have another option for you. The Faculty of Management, meaning this building, we have exchange programs with about 80 or 90 universities outside of Israel. They're actually all over the world. We can offer you the possibility of doing 1 semester at the end of your program in one of these universities. Okay? This is the way this would work. I've listed some of the places here, but the way this would work is as follows. Sometime around January, we will advertise this to everybody in the program. There's a formal application procedure. You have to sit down and talk to Sharon Shaked, who actually coordinates this, who is not here today. There's a committee. There are a couple of people. You'll be interviewed. We'll try to negotiate with you sort of a combination of where we have places. You're also jostling for these places with students in our Hebrew language MBA program. Basically, this year we managed to get anybody who wanted to, which is about, what, 15 people? 14. Well, that's between 12 and 15. Anybody who wanted to ended up going abroad. We have students in Argentina, in the United States, in Australia, Brazil, Italy. Okay. So that replaces, if you want, it replaces the summer module, and of course it means that you will extend the program by another couple of months because everybody else will finish at the end of August and you'll finish, roughly speaking, only at the end of the year.
We'll also go over this again.
Yeah, right. Okay, I think I've said it all, except for this. Our first Sofer class is graduating in 2 weeks. We'll send you an announcement. On Sunday, the 29th of August, we're going to have the graduation ceremony here. It's going to be at 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Laura is going to be the representative of the, Laura, hi, of the class. We have some donors. You notice the program has a name on it. The donors are coming. We're not quite sure how many of them are coming. Our basic donors are 2 brothers, Michael and Philip Sofer, who live in London. At least Michael is coming with his family. So you get to meet them, and you're all invited. Okay, I'm through. Questions? It's okay. We're here. We're not leaving. Rebecca?
So hopefully I won't confuse you too much. I'm going to expand basically on what Simon just spoke about. There we go. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to give you two checklists. One is a checklist for myself, and one is a checklist for Tal. It's the things that you need to do before the beginning of the school year. So for Tal, the most important things is that you fill out the health insurance form if you're not Israeli. If you're Israeli, you're covered by a Kupat Cholim, so you don't need to worry about that at all. And the other issue that you need to deal with Tal about is tuition, and he's going to send you a link around August 15th with your tuition installment. And I believe you've already sent in your request for how many installments you want, so he'll take care of that and expect to receive an email shortly. Okay, there we go. So for me, there's a little bit more on the checklist. I sent you an email, I think, at the beginning of this week with a number of these things. So what I would recommend before you arrive at the school, number one, most important thing, if you haven't done it already, is check out the student site on our website. So I'll show you with that. It's here. So if you log on, this is what you get when you get to our website. Everyone's familiar with that. If you click on Student Life and you go to class of 2011, you'll come to a password-protected page. Type in Trail. I hope I typed that right.
The password's
Blazer.
Blazer. Does everyone know what
I think
Trail
there's too
Blazer
many.
means? Who wants to explain to the non-native English speakers what Trail Blazer means? Erica.
So when you like
Louder.
starts a new path, like paves
There we
the
go.
way, and I don't know how else. Kind of how it sounds. Blazes a trail.
Yeah. So the idea, just so you guys understand, is that the first year's class was for the first ones in the program, and you guys are in the second year are really blazing our way through and making this program's foundation and experience to the next step.
A little bit of symbolism for you. So this is what's going to pop up. This is your academic calendar. You'll notice now we've got boot camp on it, and you'll also see the other things that are happening. It's a way to connect you with stuff that we're doing for the alumni, as well as stuff that's relevant and important to you. So check it out. It's mostly up to date. We've got to fix the boot camp a little bit, but and you can sort of scroll along. You can even see what we did earlier in this year and get an idea of what the school year's like.
Regarding what you have access to, you'll get invitations to things that are also relevant for you. Okay, so not everything on here. We're going to work it. It'll become more clear when the year goes on. But don't worry about what I can go to, what I can't go to, if it's for me or if it's not for me. That'll become clearer as we move forward. Okay.
Okay. So beyond the website, I also sent you as an email about the lookbook form. Lookbook is this binder that we create with a picture of you, with some contact information, and a little bit about your professional background, personal information about you that you think might be useful. We use it for our professors, for them to get a better idea of the groups that they're working with. And additionally, sometimes, professional development speaker as well will take a look at this. And then you guys will get a copy as well, so you get to actually read and learn a little bit about the people you're in class with. So if you could send that to me by the end of the month, that would be great. Addition to that, we have our Facebook group. There's the SoFair Class of 2011 Facebook group, and then there's also the SoFair IMBA Facebook group. So join both of those. And if you don't have Facebook, now's the time to sign up. And finally, you can't avoid it anymore. There's also a business card order form that I sent you. Next week, on the 15th, I believe, you'll be pre-registering for classes. So saying what classes you'll like to take. For the most part, for the first module, you don't really have too much choice. I'm sorry. Micro, accounting, statistics, if you want leadership. There's also Hebrew placement tests that I sent. If you didn't get my email, please let me know. So there's a Hebrew placement test. We have something we call Interpeer, which is where we match SoFair MBA students with Hebrew MBA students. So you can sort of get an idea of what's going on in the Hebrew MBA and sort of get a different perspective into Israel. There's a lot of segregation between our program and the Hebrew MBA program, basically because we study during the day and the Hebrew MBA program studies in the evening. So unless you take a class with the Hebrew MBA, you won't get as much contact with them. So this is a way that you can really connect with the other 2,000 students that are doing their MBAs here. Was it 2,000 you said? 1,000.
you'll receive an email with a WUFU form that I'm sure you've already gotten used to WUFU a little bit. So you'll get a form with that to sign up for it. And another extremely important thing is that you have up-to-date software on your computer. For those of you in the Excel class, and it's really important that you have, we don't work with Macintoshes. We work with PCs, and Simon 2007, at least, for Excel.
You know what? I don't think it's so critical. What Rebecca said is, no, not to contradict you. It's not that we don't work with Macs. We don't support Macs, which means if you have a Mac, I've been teaching the boot camp with some very competent people. Who brought Macs. It's terrific, okay? But this building is basically not set up to help you if you come with a Mac. So you're on your own. No big deal.
You can ask Terry for help, maybe.
We can offer you for a reasonable price, which is like about
500 shekels.
500 shekels.
Office 2010.
Right. Office 2010. I've upgraded to Office 2010. I think it's a great improvement over 2007. But to tell you the truth, if you're happy with what you're using, whether it's Office 2003 or Office 2007, I'm not sure it's worth the money. If you want to, talk to Rebecca and we'll figure out how to do it.
We have copies already in the office, so if you're anxious, they're ready to go. Okay. And then the last point here is if you have any special concerns, something like if you have a learning disability and you receive extra time for writing an exam, it's extremely important that right away that you let me know and that you send me the proper documentation so we can make sure that we accommodate you. That's it for my checklist.
The other thing on that note is I'm going to send you guys an email also in the next couple of weeks. If you didn't send me yet your official transcripts, for example, or there's a few maybe official documents missing from your application and we use copies for the review process, I'm going to need those before the year starts. So I will be proactive and send them to me, but if you forget, I also will be sending you an email to check in. And I think also that checklist, we should send them in an email so they have.
Yeah. We'll make sure to pass this along so that you guys have it.
Insurance coverage. Does the coverage only officially start in October?
Yeah, that's a really good point. The coverage starts on October 10th. So if you need coverage now, you can just pick up travel insurance until then. Okay. So this is our basic plan for orientation week. Sunday will be the quizzes for statistics for those people who aren't with us right now. Monday, breakfast, icebreakers, overview of the program. Basically, you guys can sort of get an idea just by reading it. We've left a little bit of a surprise. We're not going to tell you exactly what we're doing during the trip up north just yet. Okay. So these are a few of my recommendations of things that you should expect to do during the first week of school. Buy a bus pass, add drop classes, sign up for the gym. The gym costs about 1,555 shekels or something like that for the full year. It's a one-year membership. Stop by the student union and just get an idea for the feel of campus. There's a lot going on that first week. There's tents up, there's people selling things, there's a lot going on. So enjoy it. It's a really exciting time. Hi, Nomo. You do. Our orientation week is the week before the university school year begins. But when we start on October 17th, the rest of the school is starting along with us. Okay. So a little bit about the class schedule. Basically, what Simon said before, classes are on Mondays to Thursdays, though there will be some exceptions. If you want to take a class outside of the faculty, we can't guarantee you that it won't be on a Sunday or at night, for example. And in general, classes are going to run, at least during the first module, from about 8:15 in the morning until about 2:30 in the afternoon. It's a full day, and you'll need that time as well afterwards to work on group projects, like Aaron emphasized before. It's really, it's a full-time program. You're going to spend a lot of time here. And in addition to just those classes, there'll be tutorials as well, and Hebrew class. So there'll also be potentially some professional development, like site visits, for example, that will be on Sundays. Okay. So this is the approximate schedule for the first module. Statistics twice a week, microeconomics twice a week, and accounting twice a week, like Simon says, because those are 2-credit courses for 6 weeks long. leadership, professional development, and then we've got the statistics tutorial there. And Hebrew will probably be from 6 to 7:30 at night. So really important for us is our communication with you and your communication with us. These are ways that we're planning on being in touch with you until the school year starts. So we'll be emailing you with the most pressing issues, the most important issues. We're also going to use Facebook to be in touch with you. I know you guys, a lot of you are already on the Facebook group, right? Show of hands, who's on the group? Great. Ben, you will be? Okay, good. Not to put anyone on the spot there. But I know there is a lot of talking already about apartments and things like that. So it's a great forum for you guys to be in touch with each other as well. So take advantage of it. We're also going to be sending you a lot of WUFU forms. WUFU
forms are to RSVP for this session, you have to fill out a form. That's an open source service called WUFU, which we live and die by. So you will get to know, you will get very familiar with those forms throughout the year.
Yeah, crucial. We also have a newsletter that we're going to be working with, and we have our website as well. And I showed you how to get there. These are our office hours for the entire school year. You'll be able to come visit us during these hours. If you want to meet with us, especially with Sarah, especially with Simon, it's really important for you to book a time. So you can send Simon an email, and he'll coordinate his schedule with you. You can send an email to Sarah, and she'll coordinate her schedule with you. But keep in mind that we're very jam-packed in the office. We've got a lot going on, and we want to give you the attention that you deserve. So we'll have to work with you, and you'll have to work with us, and we'll figure out a dynamic throughout the year. Okay. And that's it. Okay.
Are there questions?
Questions. Yes. So the question was, will I send it along? I will make sure to pass it along.
Can we pick up the materials, if we're not in boot camp, can we pick up some materials today, like the math books, or do we have to come back?
The stats books.
The stats books, yeah.
We can. All the rest is not here yet.
Okay.
Simon, you want to make a note about the Excel, the email you're going to send out about boot camp?
Sure.
Do you want to come here? That was the right answer.
I'm about to send out an email to the general mailing list of the program. Actually, if you're in the boot camp, you're going to get it twice. Where I have a little web page with some materials on it for the Excel materials, and I'm going to post homeworks and presentations and those kinds of things there. It's open just to let you know what we expect of you in terms of Excel basics. One of the things we've done is we have tried to we've tried to integrate Excel into our basic stats and finance courses. So we think it's very important. We think it's a terrific tool when you get out of a program like this. We urge you all to become extremely competent in Excel.
Yeah, great. Any other questions? No? Okay. Feel free to email me any questions. So now we're going to have our panel join us of our current SoFar MBA students who are just about to graduate. Hand of applause. We're going to talk into the microphone. You just pass it along.
You can actually just leave it on the table.
Pick it up.
You want them to use it? Okay. Guys, when you talk, sure, use this thing.
What's up if you don't need it?
Okay, so just to give you a quick introduction of our students that are here, we have Laura, Amitava, and Nomo, and they're going to tell you each first a little bit about themselves, where they're from, and how they got here, and they'll speak about another few issues, and then we'll have sort of a question and answer period.
Hi, everyone. Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't hear it. It's only working to the camera.
Oh, okay.
So you have to talk a little louder anyway.
Okay. I'm really excited. I remember it was just a year ago when we were all really just sitting there. I was actually watching it on TV because I was back in Toronto. But it's going to be a really exciting year, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it a lot, the same way we did. So just to give you my background, I'm from Toronto. I went to the University of Toronto with a background in finance and economics, and I worked for 2 years in insurance, and I came here. I wasn't too sure what I wanted to focus on, but, just took a bunch of different courses, and now coming to an end. I also did Hebrew courses here, so if you have any questions about the Hebrew program here, please feel free to ask. And just some of the best advice I can give is take part in everything you can, join everything, try something new. There's been so many initiatives outside of the program that you guys should really sign up for, and just make the most out of it.
Thank you, Laura. Hi, good morning to you. I am Amitava. Amit in Hebrew means friend, right? Okay. And Ava means in India there is. So, some positive connotations to my name. But even before I start, let me from the sides of the pioneers give you a standing ovation to the trailblazers. Come on, welcome everybody. Come on, that's the way. Sorry, being a little dramatic, is it? So I joined this program from India, and I'm from the Indian Defense Forces. Had a 6-year tenure with the Army there, retired as the rank of a major, joined the program, had an incredible time, and I'll let you know more about what we went through, but after the introduction with Nomo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nomo Kumalo. Like my classmates here, the story is almost the same. Slightly different in that I'd been working for 11 years, and I was looking for an MBA to sort of change career direction, move a little faster in my career. And granted, at the time, I knew very little of Israel, but I thought the country offers a value proposition for an MBA student better than any place I could think of. I was looking for a place that would give me a 1-year MBA. So a place like here or some places in Europe were what I was looking for. And given the culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, this came to me as a choice that I couldn't compare to any other place. I always say, we had spent a lot of time researching programs to go to, typically in Europe. And I met one person who told me about the Sophia IMBA, and literally it was less than a week. I remember I spoke to Simon the one day, which was probably in the beginning of the week, and by the end of the week I'd made a decision to come here, and I'm not just saying because they're here. It's really been the best decision I've ever made. I've had a great time here. It's achieved everything that I wanted to achieve by coming to a place like Israel. So I wish you the same. We can get into the details of that as you wish. But it really offers you an opportunity to make of it what you want. One of the things that stand out for you, and I think you'll experience as you go on, is it's a new program. And it's a challenge for some people, it's a deterrent for some people possibly, but I found for me that was part of the benefit, to be part of something that will hopefully last a long time. And you have a chance to shape something that will stand on your CV for years to come. So I say good luck as well. We can talk later.
Would you like to go through some of the events which you went through? Yes? No more, I think I need to do the case competition. Okay, great. Okay. So I wanted to share with you a particular incident which was really the first time, and we went on it and we did something good. In the middle of the year, you will find that the newspaper Marker, having a case competition. There was the first time they were having it, and the Marker, there is a foundation called the David Foundation, and that's a philanthropic foundation. So they joined hands and they said that, let's open Israel up to all the MBA students, 1,500 of them. Let's invite them for a case competition. So something very new, we got our team, which we call the Team Seraph, because we had a Jewish guy, an intense Mr. Rafael Mazuz. We had an Irish guy, Mr. Dave McGarry, and myself from India. So it was quite a combination. So how it worked was, and why am I telling you this is that you will face the same competition this year.
If you wish.
If you wish, yeah. It's an open program. It's an open competition wherein you get assigned, like we got assigned to a company called the Matrix. We were working with Moti Gutman, the CEO of Matrix, and wherein we were told to develop a business plan with a current problem Matrix was facing. Like they wanted to expand internationally, develop a business plan. How exciting is it? You're doing your MBA and you're developing a business plan for Matrix. So we went on. There were 4 rounds, and we reached the finals. And we won it. And it was thank you very much. It was 1,500 students, and our program was the first program, first year in its inception, and then we won it. And there was some good money. We got 100,000 shekels to it. Wow. So that's one more incentive to go for it. But I really want to tell you what came out of this for us. At the end of the day, we are all here competing. We are all here to, it's a professional course, right? We are all here to compete. At times, we are competing against each other. But what we found out during this competition was unity lies in the strength lies in the unity. The moment you collaborate, you really, really come out with so many new ideas. And as a team, if you can succeed, when you stand in front of that, in the CEO's office, and you give your presentation, what they really look for, yes, the business plan is there, but the chemistry in your group, the chemistry in between you all. So it's really important for all of us as we brainstorm and you go to this trip to North to bond as a team, It's really, really crucial for an MBA program. That's really one thing which I wanted to say to you. And great. And, I have come with a family here. And anyone with families here? Okay, great. It's been really it's really been a great year for them too. And I would like to end saying that an administration like this, what you have here, such dynamism, it really smoothens things up. And my hat's off to you guys. It's been really, really great to have you with us as a backbone, It's really great. Thank you very much. That's all. Thank you.
On that note, I also came with a family, and it's really been... Should I? I'm saying I came here with a family as well, and it's been a big part of the experience for me here. I have a 4-year-old son and a wife, and my son goes to a gun. He came here he was just under 3. He's now just over 4. And he went into an all-Hebrew gun, and it's as we speak, my family happens to be here, and we've just been touring the country, and he's been the official translator in the past. So that's really been amazing. It's added to our little excursion. Did I not say? No. I'm from South Africa. I don't know if you know the geography of South Africa, but I'm originally from the coastal side, not Cape Town, north of Cape Town. A lot of you would probably know Cape Town. I worked in the last 10 years in Johannesburg, which is the close to the capital city. If you watched the Mundial, the Soccer World Cup, that's where Soccer City is. So that's my home in South Africa. Sorry, I thought I said this. Yeah. What you may find interesting is the career side of things. You're probably here wanting to develop your career to some point. As I said earlier, that was my ambition as well. And I just had a wonderful sequence of circumstances that happened while I was here that led to the job that I'll be taking up now. We move here in 3 weeks' time. We move to London. I'll be joining a company called Henry Schein. It's the world's leading healthcare products distributor. So they're the biggest in North America, in Europe. They aren't that big in emerging markets, and part of my going there is to join the team that will help take Henry Schein to. They already have a presence in China. In fact, Rafael Mazuz is talking to them about that, and
Rafa was the intense Jewish guy.
Yeah. Shame. So part of my going there is to join a team that will at some point help take the company to Africa, which for me is a perfect script. That's why I came here. And how it happened was, as it hopefully will happen for you while you're here, there's a lot of breakfast opportunities, lunch opportunities. A lot of them you'll be too tired to even consider. You'll be too lazy to even think what's going to happen out of this. If you just keep the discipline to meet as many people as you can, you never know what happens out of these things. I happened to join this guy who, now this is the chairman of the company I'll be joining. He was here on some mission and he found out there's a South African student here. He was born in South Africa, moved to the States about 30 years ago, and he was just interested to say hi for 5 minutes. And so it happened. We met, developed a good camaraderie, a lot of stuff to talk about South Africa. As it happened, at the time I was looking for a job in development finance. And I asked this guy to help me. He comes from, the company is based in New York. So I asked him to connect me with companies that may be interested in a student wanting to go to development finance. He said yes. And as things evolved in the last 10 months, I met more and more people from his company. And one thing led to the next, and 2 months ago they made me an offer to join their company in London. So I'll be doing strategy and M&A evaluations for their European business, which is, it's a great opportunity. It's almost an MBA job, to do a bit of strategy, to do a bit of M&A. So the point in it really is there's a lot of opportunity. For me, when I talk about the big value proposition of doing an MBA in Israel, it's exactly those opportunities. I think the structure of society here, certainly compared to where I come from, and I think many places, it's fairly open, it's fairly flat, it's very easy to not only meet people, but to engage openly in conversation with them. And that's what I was able to gain from the breakfast with this guy. And beyond the job, we've, I don't know if you say you're friends with the chairman of a company, but we talk. He's become an acquaintance. I think so much more than just a job has come out of my relationship with him, and I urge you to really, as much as you can, go to the professional development sessions. They're set up at some point. They're once a week, once a fortnight. Go to them, engage as much as you can. Breakfast opportunities, lunch opportunities. That's what it's about. So, again, good luck with that.
So after my two classmates, I'm not too sure what to cover, but I just want to go through some important things. And I also echo some of what they said. One thing you'll realize is really the importance of, first of all, teamwork. You know, it's going to be a very intense year. You're going to have lots of group work. You're going to be calling your, buddies and classmates sometimes at 12 o'clock in the morning trying to make sure that everything's ready and everything's done. But it is an experience of a lifetime, and you guys really have to make sure that you take everything you can and not just waiting for it to come. One thing unique for all three of us is that we're not from Israel. I've only been to Israel a few times on trips. It's beautiful. It's a really nice place. There's a beach. The weather is always nice, especially from Toronto, where it's cold. But you learn quickly how it works here, and you learn quickly that it's to be blunt. If you don't ask, you don't get. And one thing, some of the initiatives that we did as a group, and not being from here, is we had something called interest groups, where over the year you kind of decide, what kind of field you're interested in. You are put in different groups with different people of the same interest. Personally, I was interested in real estate and hotel. And, we founded this group, and then we were set the task of, trying to make connections. And, to bring to Nomo's point, we came here not knowing anyone, and the connections that you make here, it's easier than perhaps any other place in the world, and it's incredibly unique to Israel. And I think, and just to give you an example, with this interest group, so I was like, okay, so I have to find someone who's going to come and speak to us and share his experience. So I found someone on LinkedIn. Really, I've never been on LinkedIn, and I found this one guy, Israel, real estate. Okay. His name was Danny Fishman. He is the head of Tamir Fishman, one of the biggest investment houses in Israel. So I sent him an email. Hi, my name is Laura. I'm from the SOFR International MBA student program from Toronto. I like real estate. Would you be willing in coming to talk? And at first, from Canada, you're not used to this kind of stuff. You're not used to emailing a CEO. I worked for a big U.S. company in Toronto, and it's just not there. But here you can do it, and you don't realize the response. And then a group of us went to go meet him in his office. And he's in contact, and you realize here that people want to help. People want to share their stories. They want to give their insight. And this is where you have to make the most out of it and not wait for things to come down to you. And really just grab every opportunity, like what Nomo and Amitava said. The opportunities are there. You just have to find them. And another thing I want to talk to you guys about is China. From what I hear, you guys are going to be going to China, and that is in our most recent memory, because we just got back maybe about a month ago. Wow, time goes by really fast. You know what? An opportunity of a lifetime. It's a new world there. I've never been to East Asia before. It's a completely different world, and the opportunity is incredible. You meet so many different people. You see a new place. You get an idea of, what you can do and all the unique possibilities that are out there. And I think that we have people in our program who are doing exchange programs abroad, Singapore. We have Nomo's going to London. You really realize that you can be anywhere in the world, and Israel is just maybe a stepping stone to really unique things. And the best part is that you guys all come from everywhere around the world. We had 22 countries. I'm not sure how many you guys have, but your unique experience is what's going to make this program incredible, and you guys have to build on that. And last thing I just want to talk to you is also about the Hebrew part of it. Personally, I think knowing a second language is incredible. It's one thing that makes this program international. So if you don't speak Hebrew, I think you definitely should take it. I don't know exactly which teacher you guys are going to have. We had Amnon, and he was absolutely incredible. It's going to be Amnon. He is the best teacher in the world, really. I have no other words to say. He is incredible. And you know what? But you'll find that you have a lot of professors coming from abroad, and everyone is unique and incredible. And really ask as much questions as we had. I'm surprised you guys haven't asked many questions yet, because really, when we are in a group, they have to cut the lecture short and make the Q&A longer because we had too many questions. But really, ask questions, try new things, and work together, network, and just enjoy your time here, because it is really a life-changing and unique experience. So now we're going to open to really your questions. And please, everything is open. We are not censored in any way. We can say everything in full honesty. So, please ask us if you have a specific question about anything, finding a place to live. We all had to do it. Signing up for the gym, which I would totally recommend doing. It's incredible. Any questions, please, the floor is yours. This is your year, Okay, thanks.
I'm Mikhail from South Africa. Normal, you mentioned
from South Africa?
Yeah, from Cape Town. Normal, you mentioned about you found a job after the program, but the two of you guys, have you found now that you're coming towards the end? Do you feel confident to be able to get a job in the field that you would like now? How that works? Kind of, September program's finished. Will you be working? Won't you be working?
Okay, so my story is a little interesting because my first job, which I got, was through a delegation. Again, that adds on to what Laura said. Another nodal point of networking is your commercial attaches of your respective countries. They are great nodes. A lot of delegations come to Israel in your fields of interest. And when these guys come, they really have time to themselves. Like in the evenings, they're all open to socializing. So if you can take them, like the way I brought them here in university, and one of the lady, she was in logistics. So she offered me the job in India to be the chief operating officer in her firm in the logistics. I kind of didn't consider it. I took it. I went there. It was a great firm, but as logistics was not my KRA, it's still my plan B. So I've not taken it up as of now. My interest is in homeland security. I'm in some advanced negotiations with some firms. So, pray for me. So.
You found that people were very open to you and they were interested in interviewing you based on coming from the program. It gave you more value than other people.
Definitely, because for them, Indian delegation coming in Israel, and they're finding Indian guy here, or okay, let's not be specific, but even for the program, we are unique, okay, because no other program has. We didn't have any other program in Israel having 21 countries in one group of 54 students, That's our value proposition. When we go there, we stand there, we say, choose your country, like 21 countries. We are here, kind of. And they're like, 21 countries? Like, that's amazing, right? It's that's what gives you goosebumps, right? So how it worked here in Israel was, when these people come to you, they really don't come with a job. They don't say that, okay, come in, join my board. But you build that relationship, That's what Nomo was saying. You build that relationship over the time. You invite them for a cup of coffee. I wanted to share this. I'm a little exuberant, You can see that, So many things happened. Mr. Dan David, he was giving this $1 million prize to Mrs. Margaret Atwood from Canada, and this Indian author, Mr. Amitabh Ghosh, and there was a board of directors of Tel Aviv University having a lunch. I was sitting by his table, and I saw that he just finished his lunch, and he was looking around. I became a little Israeli. I just went up to him, and I said, sir, would you like to have a cup of coffee? Can you beat that? He's this 75-year-old guy. He was sitting there. He said, yeah, sure. He was elderly, and I just gave him a cup of coffee. And he said, you know what? You mind joining my table? I joined him, and he said to me, today evening, I'm going to an ambassador's house. Unfortunately, I will not be able to join. Would you mind if you escort, or if you please, in a very sober way, if you escort my lady wife to your ambassador's wife? I said, oh. I said, what? What? So that evening, I was sharing the Mercedes with that Mrs. David, and we went to my ambassador's place on a personal invitation. So that's the way the relationship grows, and that's the way we should, just network. Just go out, just speak, and that's the way it goes, We have nothing to lose, only to conquer.
Okay.
Coffee, and he got an invitation.
To answer your question, too, regarding a job, so I don't have a specific kind of cool country to come from. There's lots of Canadians here. So there was no delegation waiting for me. But, I have to say in Israel, it's a bit different. It's really about connections. Nearing the end of the program, you realize that you build on what you've made throughout the whole year. Just yesterday was the day before, Amitabh arranged a meeting with the Manufacturers Association of Israel, and the Export Institute, and everyone's willing to help. I have a few jobs that I'm looking at, one offer, so we'll see what happens. But really, you have to make the most of it. It's not going to fall on your lap. You have to really network. You have to get out there. You have to make connections. And in the end, it will come. But you have to be proactive in it. And especially if you're going back to other countries, a lot of Israelis, the main market is to go abroad. What they always say, you'll learn here quickly, is that when you're building a company, you don't want to be a small company serving, Ra'anana or something. You want to build a company serving abroad. So Israelis, when they build something, when they do something, technology, you'll realize it's huge here. They always have the export market in mind, U.S., East Asia, China, South America. So wherever you want to go, make those connections, and they will come because they do see value in this program. They see value in the experience that you get of both being in Israel and both having, being from abroad. So that's the best advice I can give with regards to careers, is that, it is scary at times because you're not sure what's going to happen. You might not even know what you want to do because there's so many different courses, so many different programs, but it becomes clearer. It becomes clearer as you go along. You just have to take every moment as it is. You might go for like a lunch with someone. You might be invited to some kind of meeting, and you don't know what will come out of it. And you probably think nothing will, but then 3 months down the line, you find that something might come out of it, and that you're able to email someone that you met 3 months ago, and something might come out of that. So, that's the most important thing I would have to give you. Thanks. Next question.
Were there any initial challenges you guys faced when you first came that you were able to overcome that you think would be of relevance to us? Either just as new to the country or coming to an MBA program, having been out of school for a little while, just anything you think we would be anticipating?
Okay. First, is that... Okay. Okay, so what are the initial hurdles we faced, Okay, one of them was for the cultural shock, So I'm sorry, many people told me that people are rude, They will be right to your face, what they feel. I took it in a very positive way. Like, I come from a country where it's very formal and very bureaucratical, And here it's very straight. So I took it in a positive way. That's what you might face. People will be very, very straight to you, and I took it in a way that they don't keep anything in their hearts. Whatever is in their heart, it's there in your face. How better could that be? You're dealing with a person, whatever is in their heart, they just say it out. So that's one thing which we faced. Just to get oriented with the campus, it took us a lot of time. Like, where is what? Just to give you some tips. Yeah, sure. Is it now? Good? Tov. About the campus, I would like to say to you that we have great things going around here. If you could be, because I'm sure the administration will tell you, there are great events which necessarily is not with our program, but other places, that networking events. Just have an open, keep your ears and eyes open, and it will just fall in place. Definitely, you should get that the event which you will have, the opening of the session, a bus pass. The Dan company comes to the campus, is at that ground to your right. They will make you the bus pass for the whole year. That's the one. It's great. Like, anyone who is taking that, it's
Orientation to do that. So
yeah,
that's what you mean, right?
yeah.
On the first week of school.
First week of school, which you have it there. It's a great thing which you could pick up. It's like 1 year, any number of buses. Anything specific you would like to ask?
Just a little thing to add to that. Personally, the things that shocked were, as it turns out, were pretty trivial. Just not being able to read things I see on the street, how expensive things are in restaurants. I come from South Africa. Meat is it's a commodity. You come here, it's a very expensive thing. what really shocked me is, I think it's a factor of Israel being a highly portrayed country. So security issues and such. I'd say I was actually shocked on the other side. Just before coming here, I was lucky to meet with a lot of Israelis or Jewish people in South Africa who prepared me, almost over-prepared me for what I would meet here. You know the history of South Africa. I was told we would be stopped on the street, so please carry your passport around. We were told be careful of what will happen at the airport and all such things. And my shock was on the other side. I mean, I found it a very pleasant place. We were stopped at the airport, but by a pretty lady who spoke very, very pleasantly. And I mean, that to me has been the theme. If you talk about shock here, that's been the theme. It's been shock on the other side. I've really had a very good stay here. The admin has been very supportive. So whatever shock may be there for someone who comes without the support of an institution, maybe I haven't quite experienced, but I found the shock in the end was really trivial. It was little things like just not being able to read, not being able to hear what's on TV. Yeah.
Almost out of time. So instead of you telling, unless you have some major shock that occurred to you, why don't you answer the next question?
Okay.
Because there was another question.
My question is pretty specific. Just, I mean, I'm guessing none of you worked while you were here. I'm not sure if anyone else in the program did. I know it's really difficult, and I'm not planning to work, but I'm also really uncomfortable with not having an income for a year. I mean, how did you deal with that, and did you see anyone else kind of utilize their resources to make sure that they had money and that by the end of the year they weren't broke and kind of start from zero?
I have to say, it is a challenge. It's a feeling. You know, I worked my whole life, and this was the first year where I wasn't working, and I knew I was coming here, so I prepared a little bit. I saved up. Some people did work. Mainly some of the Israelis in our program, they did work. They found it extremely difficult to work. In terms of a supplement, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. You might be able to ask, a professor. If you need help with something, you may be able to find something part-time. I'm not too sure. Maybe some are not allowed to work because of visa issues. Try to help out. Try to see around the university if you can help out. But in essence, it would be tough. It's a full-time program, and which the investment will pay off later on. But it's that's what I could say.
I saw that one of the modules, one of the units you can study is entrepreneurship. And I was wondering if any project came out between you guys in the last session, meaning that you talked about how you were strong together and how you can brainstorm and exchange ideas. And I was wondering if something came out in terms of building a company or something like that.
I can tell you personally, part of getting the job now, so I met with this guy, and one of the first electives we had was entrepreneurship in healthcare, which I believe you have this year again. Eh? We had that course, and having met the guy, I spoke to his company to do the project through his company, and I think a lot of us did the same thing. It facilitates a lot of networking, and you find that companies will be very open to you. So that's the one benefit of such. The other is, do you want to speak more question?
To cater to your point that whether any one of us is really jumping into entrepreneurship or not, Yeah. Okay. So I think the water in Israel really worked on me. You know, the water of Israel really worked on me. So I can say of myself what we are planning. So yes, we did think about many projects. Like one of my peers, Osher, in fact, he presented the UN with an entrepreneurship. It's a joint program with the Palestinian Authority on fish farming, and it was appreciated when they went to UN and presented it. There was a person in our program, Jordan. He came up with an idea of the World Bank facilitating some projects. So it's in his business plan, which he has floated. But to be honest, most of us right now, some of us are going in. Most of us are looking for a full-time job, and then having a plan B. Like for myself, I'm making a small company on consultancy. It's like a homeland security consultancy, but I'm not jumping into it right now. I'm hedging my risk, having a constant source of income, and at the same time, building it on, and then maybe someday just jumping in. So
maybe one more question.
You all speak Hebrew now?
We can understand, but can I hide my face? Oh, Laura.
I came not being able to speak, and then just because of I came to Israel not being able to speak at all. I understood a little bit, reading and writing, but then, it's everywhere. Ordering in restaurants, sitting in a cab, and אני יכולה לדבר קצת, ואני מקווה שאתם גם יכולים לדבר גם בעברית. So, okay?
I'm going to end it here. These guys are going to be around for a few more minutes. Thank you all for coming, and good luck.